Phantasy Star is kind of feeling a little shallow to me. I think probably the biggest issue I'm having with it at the moment is that I want to play like different alts, like different classes and stuff, but the time it takes for you to level up is like really abysmal. Like the quests don't really give a whole lot of XP, and then grinding is super duper slow, like very painfully slow. The chances of you leveling up in a day is like fucking nightmare. And I tried doing also using the triggers or whatever and doing those things, but the biggest issue I'm seeing with that, it costs 5 trigger things in order to do it one time, and it's like, why they make it so expensive? So you'll go out and you'll grind and you collect like maybe 1 or 2 at the most in an hour of grinding, and then you're like, okay, well I need 5 of them in order to do the dungeon one time. So it's pretty painful. I went on the auction house and I saw you can buy them, which, you know, it's like 1,000 a piece. That's like the bare minimum that you can price something. So there's plenty on there. So I was like, all right, cool. I could just buy them for 1,000, but that's $5,000 for each dungeon. So that shit adds up pretty fast. All of a sudden you're spending $60,000 to $70,000 just to do you know, a good amount of runs. And sometimes it kind of feels like maybe it's not really as worth it as you know, the price. I tried watching like a bunch of YouTube videos on like how to level up fast and all that, and they all say the same shit. It's like grind, do triggers, or fucking do quest. And I'm like, okay, well I did all 3 of those and they're all slow. So what's another option? Yeah, and I'm okay with grind games when I'm into it, but honestly, at this point in my life, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old. And I'm getting to the point where I just don't want to really grind that hard anymore. Like I just want to see the builds. I want to make builds, want to get them to max level as fast as possible so I can work on that stuff instead of like dicking around being level 20 forever, waiting to get to the point where I can be useful eventually. I think probably my biggest mistake, I was maining assault rifle or something. I don't know what the class is, assault, I guess. And I was maining that for a long time because I really loved the little bolt thing with the AoE bolt that hits every mob in the area. That's always been awesome to me. But then I tried Waker, and then Waker has basically a similar attack with the bird, and it shoots the bird does like missiles and stuff that follow the enemy the same way. So I was like, oh shit, I kind of like Waker a little bit more. I felt like the combat felt a little bit more fun for me. So I wanted to play Waker, but I half-assed because my main is level 46 or something, and now my new character is like 32, so it's like barely trying to catch up. And I've been working on this character for probably about 3 or 4 days now, and I'm struggling to catch up to my main now. So it's been kind of painful, the leveling process of NGS, and that's probably like the major reason why I'm probably gonna end up quitting the game, because it takes way too long to level up. The thing that bothers me the most with the way the story is put together is that they section it into parts of like, you need your stupid gear score to be high enough in order for you to do the next part of the story. And you can't do the next part of the story until you get to that point. So then when you finally get to that point, like 2,000 gear score or whatever, you get it, you do the quest, you speak to them, they say like 2 lines of dialogue, and then they decide that they're gonna end the quest right there. You get a little bit of XP, and then you gotta get your gear score a little bit higher now for the next one. And it's like, dude, man, I already struggled to get to 2,000 gear score. Just for now, you tell me now I need 3,000 gear score? Like, what the fuck? Like, I really hate the gear score shit. That it pisses me off, you know. And that was a major reason why I left Destiny 2 and also Black Desert Online. That stuff too, because you need to be a certain gear score level in order to go to certain zones and stuff like that. It's similar to that, you know. And Destiny 2 probably was the best one, mainly because they give you an opportunity to get to the soft cap pretty fast. Like, I got to the soft cap maybe in like 3 or 4 days. Versus NGS, I've been playing this shit for 2 weeks already, almost, and I'm still struggling to get like 2,000 gear score at the moment. Like, you know, so like that's pretty much like the biggest worst part about the game right now. Like, I'm just kind of struggling with all those little aspects. other than that, it's been pretty fun to kind of just dick around and just grind shit whenever the hell I want. Because, you know, like right now I'm playing Genshin, and Genshin is a very time gated game where they force you into like logging in every day for maybe like 20 minutes to burn your resin and to do those things. Whereas Phantasy Star lets you grind to your heart's content. You could play for 8 hours straight if you wanted to. I personally don't really have time like that on my hands anymore. I could probably play realistically for 2 hours a day or whatever. I found base PSO2 to be a little bit more lenient. Like it was, it lets you do a lot of the story, and I didn't really run into any roadblocks as far as gear score or any of that shit. Because like the best part about that is that you can just buy all the shit on the auction house, and you can do the same thing in NGS. You could just buy the gear from the auction house, but the leveling process is the gate in NGS, because you're having to deal with, you know, the endless grind of trying to get one level. Like you play for 2 hours and you get one level, and right now they're doing like a double XP event just for this weekend that I'm talking about it. But even that, like I was playing for an entire hour and I maybe gotten a level and a half, and I'm like, what the fuck, this is supposed to be double XP weekend, and shit, it's still bad. So so I don't really even know, man. Like that's pretty bad when you see it like that. Starting to look like NGS is gonna get uninstalled pretty soon, because it just doesn't really work for me right now.